All right, we're looking at Tick Pulse version 10 in MultiCharts. I want to show you the setup, and I want to show you that we have more data. I've cached data in the past in MultiCharts, so I have more historical data. I've purchased the database for the E-mini S&P, so I have historical data for the E-mini S&P back to the beginning, but the NYSE Tick I don't have for TradeStation. You can purchase that, but it's different in different data feeds, and so the data you purchase may be different than what's in TradeStation. And so I do have this data on 15-second charts back to March 22nd, 2016, with the exception of this one time period here for a month. I believe I didn't log in to MultiCharts from October 27th going back to September 29th. It includes September 29th, so September 30th through October 27th. I don't have the NYSE Tick data, but we're going to take a look at the results anyway. And if you look at the VIX, if you use the VIX filter version, the VIX was below 15 at that point anyways. And so we'll look at all four variations the way we did in TradeStation, so you can see the performance and the average trade profits. Keep in mind though that 1 month period was probably during the worst case drawdown that we've had. I want to show you the overall performance summary for this. Here's the performance summary: 44, 312, 50, going back all the way to March of 2016. Here's the equity curve, and here is the worst case drawdown period, and that is there was an additional drawdown during the time period in which we are missing data. I am letting you know that up front. I'm not hiding that fact because the data is not there. If the data were there, I've tried to get that data, but I'm not able to download more than 6 months. You need tick data, and it's more than 6 months ago, and so I cannot download that. And so there is about a $7,000. You should allow for a $7,000 drawdown during a period like this. Keep in mind the VIX was low, so you know, if you use the VIX filter, then it wouldn't be as much of a factor during that time period. So that is the basic. Those are the basic parameter setups that we had from yesterday. Total trade analysis: $49 average trade profit without slippage and commission, so right on the cusp. The long side is much better than the short side, 74 and 23. And so here is the equity curve again with drawdown. And I'm going to pull up the parameters from yesterday. So we posted this report yesterday, and you can see the parameters we're using here. We're using this first set of parameters to see the results. The net profit in TradeStation was $23,000. You see $44,000 in MultiCharts. The drawdown's about the same, but you should consider a $7,000 drawdown. The average trade profit is over the long term is $49 because we have additional data. And so you see those numbers. We're going to put in these inputs, and these inputs, and these inputs, and then we're going to compare the numbers. So I'm going to pause the video while we go on to the stage 1 change and look at the results with more data. Also, I want to show you correction. I'm going to correct this screenshot from yesterday. It says limit order false. This should be true. We're using limit orders, but you can set that to false and it'll use a market order. And so if you like testing things with market orders because you don't know if the limit order will get filled unless it trades through, you can do that. There's not a lot of difference I've found, and so market orders might be something you want to do as well. And so, but these results are based on setting the limit order to true. I'm going to show you that here in MultiCharts. Limit order is true, VIX filter is true. Here's all the parameters we're testing on this stage. I'm going to pause the video and I will show you the performance summary when it's updated. And keep in mind that since we're using the VIX filter, the data that we don't have will not be a factor since VIX was below 15 during that time period. So the rest of our tests will not matter for that tick data not being there. So here are the stage 2 results in Tick Pulse version 10. You see 29,000 equity curve with drawdown. The drawdown is much lower. It pays to wait for VIX to go above 15 in this strategy. And you see the total trade analysis, the average trade profit gets boosted to 72, and 105 on the long side, 46 on the short side. And the data that we're missing in this case, once again, does not make a difference. Next, we're going to go to the stage 2 changes. You see the difference when we add the dates back to March of 2016. You get $10,000 more profit. The average trade profit stays about the same at $72. The drawdown, you saw the drawdown curve, and all we did was add the VIX filter on this setup. And now on the stage 2 setup, we're also going to additionally increase the stop loss to 650 and remove the profit target, and we'll see how the net profit, drawdown, average trade profit, and all these numbers change. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to update it. So you see the results, 39,100. Here's the equity curve with drawdown. You go through a flat period and about a $3,000 drawdown. Really nice equity curve since this time period. Let's see, the total trade analysis shows $152 average trade profit. So very nice results. We're going to go back now and compare those to TradeStation. And again, we're using TradeStation data in MultiCharts. And so you saw 39,000. You see the drawdown, the average trade profit, 233 from 1016 to June of 2018. But if you go back further, that average trade profit is down to about 150, which is still a very good number, just by increasing these stop losses. We just have more data here. If we're going back in MultiCharts, we have data cached and saved back to March 22nd, 2016. And so we get an extra year and 7 months of data that we have. And so next we're going to go to the stage 3 change. We're going to increase this so we're more aggressive. The lower this number is, tick pulse long and short, the more aggressive, more trades you'll take. And so now we're going to update these two inputs and then show you the performance and compare it to 42,000 here and average trade profit of 219 there. So with another year and 7 months of data, we see 47,375. Here is the equity curve. During this time period, it's just pretty flat. First 78 trades are it's about the first 3 months of trading through from March of 2016 through about June of 2016. It's pretty flat. And the total trade analysis, you see the average trade profit of 131. At this point, you're seeing the short trades being greater than the long trades, and so there could be some adjustments made on parameters for longs and parameters for shorts in this scenario. So again, here's the performance summary. We're going to look at this and compare it to TradeStation, and so we can see the differences. So longer history shows us that the net profit continues to rise. The average trade profit decreases because we have a long flat period at the beginning. And so these are the numbers, and these are all the stages. And so with this video, you have more performance history for Tick Pulse version 10, and that is the update. I will also make a video on how to set up the MultiCharts workspace, since there are different data providers and I cannot send you the workspace directly. So that is the update for Tick Pulse going back to March 22nd, 2016, and the MultiCharts setup.